What's up? Hey YouTube, how are you? What's up? Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Uh YouTube and Facebook and uh what we got going on over here. Uh what's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. What's up, Melissa Diaz? What you think of my trucker hat? What's up, fam? What's up? It's Tuesday, and man, it's right before a holiday. It's crazy, and hold up, I don't even have my all my stuff set up over here yet. There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking. What's up, YouTube? Man, I hope y'all are having an amazing day wherever you are in the world. It's a little chilly here in Oklahoma City today, but it's nice. The sun is shining finally. We had a little bit of rain a few days ago, and so it's nice. It's nice over here. So uh, anyway, what do y'all think of my trucker hat? I had this made a few weeks ago, and look, it's got all the stuff. So I haven't really worn it yet, so this is my first my first debut of it. So anyway, these trucker hats are different because they are a little taller. So I'm not sure how I feel about it quite yet. But anyway, so happy Tuesday. I pray, like I said, that y'all are having an amazing day wherever you are. And as we wait for everybody to come on in, I'm thankful for you guys that are here and the ones of you that are watching the replay. I appreciate y'all so much. Rachel, I see you on here. Thank you for joining. And just exciting that it's Tuesday. So y'all have big plans for Thursday, man. It's Thanksgiving already. Can you even believe it? It's crazy to me to even process the fact that it's so it could be Thanksgiving. But here it is. Here we are, whether we like it or not. So anyway, I'm excited to eat all of the things and rest and veg and do all of nothing. So anyway, what's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Man, I'm excited to share this word with you today. I believe that it's going to bless you, and because it blessed me. So I just think that it will. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Rach, that's going to be really cool. I love that. I love it. I love it. I'll definitely. What's up? What's up? I got some family in the house over here on TikTok. What's up? I sure love you so much. Glad to see you on here. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. And Dr. Destiny over here. I hope you had a good birthday. And I can't wait to get your book. It's coming. It's coming, and I can't wait. So, man, I'm excited to see you guys. It seems like the weeks are just like flying by, right? Do y'all feel like that? You feel like they just fly? And I do, man. It's just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So, man, I'm glad to all of the things that we've got coming up. It's really, really cool. So holidays are here, and it really starts getting busy from here on for the rest of the year. So probably for everybody, right? And so we with work, and hey, Sarah, welcome. Yes, Sarah, you need to reach out to me. My website is levelupwiththom.com. And so if you haven't been to my website, it's awesome. So levelupwiththom.com. Actually, what's up? Welcome. And so I can definitely help you write your book and get it in your hands. So uh, if especially if you already have it written, then that's that getting it kind of all together is kind of the fun part for me. So anyway, so I want to get into it today. I appreciate you guys for being here and spending some time with me. Tech Talk, I appreciate you and everybody. Um, so levelupwiththom.com is the website. So go check it out. And Jennifer, welcome in. Man, I'm so glad you're here. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about that is worship too. And I uh, I don't know how God talks to you guys usually, but he speaks to me through situations and things that happen and that I go through. And so uh I'm learning and maybe I'm overdoing it. Maybe you know, maybe it has nothing to do with it, but in situations that I go through and things that happen, I'm really making a pointed effort to say, God, what are you trying to teach me in this situation? Especially if it catches me, right? If it catches me a little bit, I feel some type of way about something. And Sheila, welcome. Glad you're here. Um, so that's worship too. That's what we're going to talk about today. And so um, I think we all go through situations and tests and trials or whatever. Maybe it's something that you've done and you just a choice that you made and then you've got to just work through it. But sometimes it is not right. Um, the Bible says, in everything give thanks, for this is the will of God. And so if we're gonna think about it that way, then okay, God, what is this situation trying to teach me? I'm here. There's something that's kind of off, and I just need you to show me. And and so that's what happened. And so there was I don't really call it a situation, but there was just something that I was able to experience, and it it caught me just a little bit. And I wouldn't say uh, I wouldn't say it caught me off guard, but it was just an interesting situation. And so I um, I had to process through something. I guess that's a good way to put it. And so, um, the situation didn't go kind of like I thought that it was going to go. And so I immediately started praying because again, it hit me in my spirit, hit me in my gut. And like I said, maybe I'm overthinking it, but that's how I felt. And so, with that being said, I had to pray. And I had a choice on how I reacted to a situation. That's a good setup. Um, I had a choice on how I reacted to a situation. And so um, I had to remind myself that um, I call myself a Christian. I call myself, called. I know there's a call in my life. I know that God has big things for me to do, even more than what I am getting to do right now. But um, so I had a choice on how I reacted to a situation. And so I could have reacted in the flesh and been very demanding basically of my own way. But um, again, I had to understand that I'm not only representing myself, but I'm representing God. And so if I understand what that means, then I understand that I can't just act any type of way. I have to be careful how I act. I have to be careful how I respond. I have to be careful how um, I allow situations to even affect me. Okay. Because this is bigger than me. It's bigger than just how I feel in the moment. Right. We've all probably heard that saying of don't make a permanent decision on a temporary emotion or a feeling. And so, again, God, what is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to teach me? And what is it in me that's still a little bit maybe hurt or a little bit uh, that I need to work on just a little bit more? And so again, we have to choose how we react to situations and people and whatever. So there are people around us that are watching us. If you say you're Christian, you love God, and you're trying to represent God, and you're trying to live a good life and do the right thing, people watch, right? And so, and of course, the enemy doesn't want us to act right, and but we have to guard our testimony. We have to guard our our walk. And so, hey, Angel, welcome, and Donna, so glad you guys are here. Uh, and so we have, like I said, we have a certain way that we should react. And so now I'm not meaning that we should let people walk all over us and talk to us any type of way that they want to, but uh, but I had a choice in how I reacted to a situation. And so I did. I had to pray, and I was like, okay, God, this doesn't feel good. And Bettina, what's up? I'm gonna see you in a little while. Um, but whether it's work or it's personal or whatever the situation is, we we are the example that some people, we may be the only example that some people see of God, Jesus, church, whatever. And so if we decide to act crazy, then it just makes us look bad, right? It may make God look bad. And so so in this situation, I really had to pray. And so it was hard. Okay. It was hard because I didn't, I was right. I felt like, and so, especially when we feel like we are right, it makes it harder um, you know, to not do the thing you want, right? You have to respond uh, differently. And so after, right, I feel like I handled it okay. I feel like, God gave me the strength that I needed to handle it like I should have. Um, and but it still didn't feel good, right? And so again, it was an opportunity to say, okay, God, what are you trying to teach me in this situation? And and so it wasn't until I went to bed and was just laying there, everything was quiet and everybody's snoring, right? The dogs and uh uh I'm just laying there praying and Genevieve, what's up? Welcome. And I just started praying. God, just kind of talk to me about this. What is this? And and so he really started ministering to me about the situation. And he said to me that um, the way that I handled the situation was worship. He said, yes, that's worship too. And so that's how I got the title for today is yes, that's worship too. So because I chose to be mature in God and exercise my maturity to this point, I know there's more coming, right? We should all continue to grow. But because I exercised self-control, which is a fruit of the spirit, um, that was worship to God. So worship is my weapon. I have on my t-shirt. It just, I needed to have this on today. Worship is my weapon. And so I never really thought about this and the way I handled the situation as being worship to God. And it was so just sweet how he shared that with me is that was worship too. I see what you do. I see what you go through. I see the situations that you face. I see all of these things, but I also saw how you handled that situation. And at the end of the day, You handled it the best that you could, and um, I did flow through you in that moment, and uh, and he said to me, I received that as worship, and man, it was just like a healing salve that came over me. It was just like those sweet little, the thing that I needed the most at that moment was hearing from God Himself to say, uh, I noticed that. There all of these people in the world. I noticed your situation. I noticed what you went through, how you handled it, and what an amazing gift that he gave me uh, in that moment is to say, I received that as worship. I didn't, I didn't have music playing. I didn't have my hands raised. I wasn't saying the words, God, I worship you. God, I praise you. God, I thank you. I wasn't saying those words. But what I was doing is I was trying to practice self-control. And it took a lot for me. And again, I didn't want to react. My flesh wanted to react a certain way. Kristen, what's up? Thank you for getting on here. My flesh wanted to react a certain way and in a different way. But I knew that there were more important things that were at stake than how I wanted to react in that moment. And so it got me to thinking about Kristen, come on, get to my website. And you can I can help you. Connie Mannering, my Canadian sister, I love you. Thank you for getting here. So, y'all, there are so many different ways that we can worship God and we can praise God that I didn't ever think about. And so maybe it's just noticing somebody that needs a hug, or noticing somebody that needs something. Or, like I said, in this scenario, I did not react like I wanted to react in the flesh. I was able to react differently. And to hear God say to me, the way He speaks to me was, I receive that as worship. And man, that blessed me so much. And then the other part of that is is that we don't always know what other people are going through. We don't know how a situation may trigger them. Okay. They're bringing their experiences to the table, right? And so their situations and their history and their whatever uh, could potentially have triggered how they responded, right? And so if I'm saying I'm healed, my heart is healed, and my mind is right, then I have to exercise that every day. I have to exercise, because I tell you all the time, I pray, God, help me keep my heart right. God, create in me a clean heart, renew a right spirit in me. So we can't always react in the flesh like the flesh wants to, but understanding that uh, we just have to be better. Now, again, I'm not saying that we can let people walk all over us, take advantage of us, um, deliberately continue to hurt us over and over and over. um, there's lots of different scenarios, but understanding that God looks at that as worship to Him. And I love to worship, I love to praise. I feel like I do that all day every day, through just the actual act of worship and the actual act of praising God, and giving thanks to God for all the blessings that I have in my life. And so something kind of interesting for me is I looked up how many times the word worship is used and how many times the word praise is used in the Bible. And honestly, I was a little surprised that it wasn't more than it is. But the word praise is used 259 times, mostly in Psalms. David wrote Psalms, and Psalms are praise and worship to God. And so 259 times the word praise is used. And, y'all, honestly, sometimes I think I say that 259 times a day. And so it just seemed odd to me that it was only used that many times. The word worship is used only 188 times. And so, again, it's such a powerful thing that I was surprised that it wasn't used more. But and so just like this, worship is our weapon. And so when we choose to use it differently, and man, it gave me such uh, a confidence boost, maybe is a good way to put it, in my spirit that um, it was looked at as worship to God. And it was a situation that I didn't even think about. Like I said, I wasn't in that situation where I wasn't actively saying, God, I praise you, God, I worship you in this situation. I was literally saying, God, help me. It was actually a prayer. God, help me to react the right way. Help me to respond in love. Help me to respond the way that I should respond. Um, and then, like I said, I feel like that I did. Regardless of if I felt like I was right, the situation warranted the fact that I responded in love as much as I could and say, okay, I get it. I get it. That's okay. If you say 2 plus 2 is 5, then 100% it is 5. And and so I I had to, like I said, push past what the flesh wanted to do and say, God, you are helping me to grow. And what's coming is so much bigger than this, that nothing that is taken from me or nothing that is not good um, goes past you. You always see these things, and so you're going to bring extra into my life, right? If I keep my heart right, if I keep my spirit right, if I continue to do the right things, then God, you will bless that. You will give me back 7 times what the enemy stole. um, Maybe it wasn't even an enemy. Maybe it was just, bad communication, right? Uh, in our work, in my work, communication is so critical because we're dealing with patients and families and things like that. And so we have to communicate with them um, and, with each other. And if I'm doing something, there are people who are waiting for me to do what I'm supposed to do so they can do what they're supposed to do. And so, but if they don't know that I'm done, or if they don't know that I've completed the task, then they can't move forward to do what they're supposed to do. And so communication is key. And so I literally did. I was like, God, thank you. Then it turned into worship. And then it turned into praise because I was like, God, thank you for allowing me to have this experience so that moving forward, I react differently. I communicate differently. And what a blessing. But y'all, just such a sweet blessing was, like I said, to have God say, I received that as worship. The way that you handled that situation, I know because God made us, right? He made us. He made me. He knows how I am uh, and how I'm trying to work through and be better. And so there are going to be situations that come up that test us. Um, you once you learn something, you sometimes are tested to see if you really learned it or not. And again, if you're praying prayers like God, reveal anything in me that needs my attention, reveal things in me that I need to work on, get better, let go of. Don't be surprised when situations come up that actually make you do those things. And so I was just so blessed by that. The fact that, there are so many things that we do every day that God considers to be worship and praise to Him because we are representing Him, right? We've learned, we've growing, and it's I think that God gets uh proud of us, excited, just like we are with each other when we learn a new skill, or we've written our book and it's published, and whatever the situation is. Um, maybe you maybe you have learned something, and you grow in your education, and you get a certificate, or you get a license, or whatever it might be. We celebrate with each other. And so it was a just like I said, one of those situations where, um, because my heart, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I love so much, and I try to. Um, there are some things that can hurt my feelings, because it's like, oh, I don't want you to think that of me. That wasn't my intention. Um, you know what I mean? And so, even that, pushing past people pleasing, it's just, you know, I want to, I don't want people to uh, ever think that, right? And so, but the things that we go through and how we react, I want y'all to think about that this week. It's Thanksgiving week, and we have so much to be thankful for. There's so many things that happen, and people that are not here that were here last year, and they had no idea that they would not be here this year. And so we have so much to be thankful for, and um, and so I want us to be thankful for this today. Thankful for God being able to receive worship from us in ways that we didn't even think about. And so worship is more than just, like I said, raising our hands and saying, I worship you, I praise you, God. Worship and praise is warfare. And warfare is a way that, like I said, not reacting the way that you normally would react to something. Um, uh, and yes, Angel, I am with you for sure. So I think that it's an interesting thing, and in business, that's a different thing. In business, we still have to represent God in all the things that we do, and but again, we have to be careful. We can't let people walk all over us. We can't let people take advantage. But we still have to be careful in how we react and the way that we react, and all of that. And so, Pastor Connie's on here. They're in Canada. They started a church a few months ago. And I already know that they encounter situations like that where their heart is not, whatever they did, whatever they do is not meant to hurt anybody's feelings, but you still have certain things you have to do, right? And in certain ways that you have to do things. And so we were talking this morning, there's a marketing group that we're a part of. And anytime you're in leadership, whatever that looks like, you have to make hard decisions sometimes. And it makes people mad because they don't always get their way, and they don't like it or whatever. And so you have to take phone calls. You have to look at hateful, nasty text messages, and because they didn't get their way, and they're going to pout and throw fits. And so, but just because you, uh, just because they get upset, it doesn't mean that we have to get out of our character and be hateful and mean, right? It means that the facts are the facts, these are the rules. And so I'm sorry that you're upset, but the rules are the rules, right? And so, Lord, Pastor Connie, praying. So again, maybe I'm looking at things a little much, whatever, but I really am in that season of, God, what's this situation trying to teach me? All these things, right? What's this situation trying to teach me? Because if I can gain something out of it, then I feel like it was worth something, right? It wasn't just an attack for nothing, or that person wasn't mean and hateful to me for no reason. Uh, he will work all things together for our good according to his purpose, right? And so if we believe that, even in situations where we feel that something's going wrong or against what we think, uh, he can still work it and help us to grow in that. And so in those moments, in that growth, in that yielding to God and not reacting like we want to, think of that, y'all, as worship to God. Man, it changed my whole perspective of the whole situation because I could, like I said, I could have been like, nope, this is how it is. This is right. And that's how it's going to be. But that would not have been, it would have been the right thing. It would not have been the right way to react to that situation. And and so, it's like one of those situations where it's almost like adrenaline was flowing. And then once the adrenaline came down, I really realized what was happening more so, I think. And so that's why it blessed me. And I think that's why it was a little while before, God even spoke that to me because my adrenaline was down. Like I said, I was in bed. I was trying to go to sleep and just praying about this. And that's when he so sweetly mentioned that, and spoke that to me and said, I received that as worship. Well done. You did good in this situation. I received that as worship. You don't know what this other person's going through. They responded from a different place. They, but I saw the situation. I see your heart. Man, getting to hear God say that was worth everything, right? Because again, man, I don't always handle situations right. Sometimes I do get in the flesh and I do, maybe have an attitude or something. But where I've come from is light years away from where I was, and how I would react to people and things and situations and and all of that. So yes, y'all, in our work, in our day-to-day work, in the things that we do every day, with our families, with our friends, with people we're ministering with and to, um, God receives that as worship. And so if we do all things as unto God, if we do all things like we are doing it for God or to God, think about how it changes how we do it and what we do. And so, man, I just laid there and I just was so thankful, that it wasn't a different conversation with God, right? He wasn't saying to me, "Man, Thom, you need to really work on that. You need to work on your temper. You need to bring it down. You need to repent. You need to ask forgiveness. You need to, uh, apologize to that person." Y'all have been there. I've been there. And so it was such a, like I said, it was such a sweet thing for God to say, um, "You did good." And I received that as worship. I love worship so much. Worship is my weapon. It helps me and has helped me get through some hellacious, horrendous things in my life and situations where the enemy was attacking, it felt like all the time through people. And uh it like I said, I get what worship is. I get what praise is. But I just loved, like I said, it was that to me was an unexpected because I didn't wasn't thinking about that particular situation being worship to God. And until he spoke that to me and I was like, wow, how amazing. How amazing is that 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 he loved me so much. He loves me, thankfully. He loves me so much that he knew I needed him to point that out to me at just that particular time. Gosh, this weather over here's got my nose all stopped up all of a sudden. So sorry about that, y'all. But again, it helped me to see something a little bit different, and now I get to share it with you guys. And so I pray that this has blessed you today, and you can and start thinking about situations in your own life maybe a little different, and think about situations that maybe you can reflect back on and say, wow, yeah, God, thank you for reminding me of that situation. And it was worship to you. You did, receive that. as praise. And so I want to encourage you, if you're dealing with the situation, you're going through something, and your flesh wants to, uh, but you know better. You don't react like that. Then that's a form of worship to God. It's a form of worship that to me is so powerful, because dying to our flesh and not allowing our flesh to react like it wants to is powerful, right? That's why fasting is so powerful. That's why, it's because we're denying the flesh. It's easy to fly off the handle. It's easy to do those things. But if we want to grow, if we want to go to a different place than what we are, if you're circling the camp, you're circling around the same situation, the same thing over and over and over, then maybe you haven't learned your lesson yet. There's a lesson there in the situation. And so start praying that. Start praying, God, what are you trying to teach me in this situation? What am I missing? What are you trying to show me that maybe I'm not able to see it yet? So God, help me to see what you want me to see. Help me to hear what you want me to hear. And God, please help me say what you want me to say. And again, like I said, I'm not perfect. Uh, I get in my feelings, I get in attitudes, and you know, so it just reminds me that I'm human. It reminds me that I still have things to do, places, I need to grow in, and not allowing situations to trigger me from something in the past. Because the Bible says, old things are passed away. Behold, all things are new. Remember, I talked about that a few weeks ago. And so, but yes, this is worship too. Man, I, that blessed me so much, that I can't stop, smiling about it, because, when God, um, uh, and yeah, Ashley, that's what I think. Just changing our negative habits, and going to Him. I believe so. I believe that's what he was saying, and how you respond to a situation. When you are able to respond in love, you are able to respond. Even if you, don't get your way, those are things I believe that God, receives as worship. And so, negative habits, yes, that can be just having an attitude, telling people what you think, um, and popping off, and whatever. Uh, I think that, that definitely is what this is about, and and uh, I know that's right, Melissa, because you already know me well. That's right, and so, like I said, we can't overthink things. We can't overthink things. We have to let things go, and say, God, thank you for this lesson. Thank you for this lesson. Uh, Maybe I didn't get my way in what I thought, but thank you for helping me to learn my lesson in this moment. And so that next time this comes up, I'll be able to handle it a little differently. And so even if, like I said, you don't, react negatively, you can still learn stuff, and so that the next time it is, yes, most important, and remember to breathe, because sometimes you just have to take that couple of seconds a day. Okay, let me not react in the moment, right? Let me not let this adrenaline get ahead of me, and have me react in a certain way. And y'all, that I know what I'm talking about in this situation, because uh, I I have dealt with, that very thing, getting my feelings hurt and then reacting negatively. And so, uh, uh, man, it's nice to know that I have grown a little bit, and I didn't react like I wanted to. And the fact of being able to, uh, like I said, um, not let this hurt my feelings, right? God knew my heart in this situation. God knew my heart. That's what he said. And I knew my heart. And so um, that's what matters. It doesn't matter, the other person, sometimes people have a different perception of how they viewed it. And so we have to learn to correct things and move on. And so, but the fact that that was worship, that was icing on the cake for me. And I was so appreciative and so thankful to God that I was blessed to, get that nugget from him to to remind me of that. And so again, it's not always about us. It's not always about you situations that you get in. And sometimes it's about the other person, like I said, and how they're reacting and where they're coming from. And so we have to be the example. We have to say, okay, you're right, and let it go. And so anyway, uh, watch how you react to situations and think about it being worship to God and watch him bless you because that's where our blessings come from. I mean, he'll use people to bless us, but I'm believing God for some big things. I told you guys. Um, and and so I have to I have to trust God even when I don't feel it, even when I don't see it. I trust God and God trusts me. And that's a pretty powerful, relationship. And so, anyway, y'all, I love y'all so much. I pray that you have an amazing rest of this week. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I hope that you. I pray for traveling mercies if you're traveling, and if you have family coming to you, then I pray traveling blessings on them. And yeah, thank you, Melissa, for dropping all the details. I love you so much, and I appreciate you. My website, levelupwiththom.com, Level Up Publishing Company, just happened, and so I'm excited about what 2026 is going to bring, and I'm just so thankful. And anyway, I love y'all. Happy Thanksgiving. Have an amazing rest of your week. Be safe, and anyway, be thinking about what we do is worship to God. So, y'all, I love you, and I'll see you uh, next time. All right, I love y'all. Love you. Love you, YouTube. Love you, TikTok.